Hello guys, so a few videos back you seen me look at the Ford TW35 and the intermittent problem that I had with it where it was cutting out. I've also got a problem with this Fendt 930, so I thought we'd do a similar sort of a video, just power it up and see if we can figure out what's wrong. So unlike the TW35, this is using the original Siku Control board. I've just added some LEDs to it, so nothing too major. So we have to go to infrared control here, channel 1. This is set to channel 1 as well. So we should be able to give this some power, and the LEDs on the back should flash when we give it power. And then we'll be able to connect with our infrared. So if you remember from some of the earlier videos I did, I took apart a Siku battery, and the pin that's furthest to the left when you're looking at the back of the vehicle is ground, and the next pin in is your positive connection. That is when you're using the standard Siku battery. I have modified this one. Again, if you've seen the older videos, you'll see that. So I just have a header in here, so I can just plug in these wires. Normally you would have spring terminals in there, so you couldn't do this. So we'll hook up our power here and see. Well, that's not good over there. So that went to 5 amps. So I guess we have a short circuit in this one. I didn't see that with the batteries, because you'd plug in the battery and nothing would happen, but probably the battery was short circuited. So you can see there that this one slightly different in that we can actually see our voltages and currents. So we know that when we hook up this power supply, we're getting it looks like it's basically a dead short, but obviously the power supply can supply an awful lot of power. It's, I think, 5 amps is probably the max. So you've seen the voltage drop there. So no point having a controller, that's not going to help us. Maybe let's have a quick look inside and see, can we see something shorting out maybe to the frame, or I'm not sure, because it is the stock PCB. Other than my connector, maybe my connection is shorted out to the frame, because normally the pins will be there for, they'd be like spring terminal pins. So maybe that change has somehow affected it. Or also it's equally possible that my wiring to my lights has got damaged some way. So into the first section, nothing standing out here as being short circuited, but that's not too surprising. What I really want to see is the cab. So it looks like I need to take a bit more off. So I need to get this servo out, it looks like. That wire's broken, but possibly I'm just after breaking it. It's not too hard to fix that though. I don't actually remember how you disconnect this, to be honest. It looks like there's 2 screws under the servo, so I have to get those. Yeah, looks like these 2 screws are holding that pretty firmly. guess that's maybe under the cab that we need to get to, so let's try these ones. Hope you're taking notes so that we can put this back together. Seems like there's a screw holding that, but I can't see where it is. Is this a clip maybe? There we go, now we're in. When I originally looked at this, the PCB in the cab had corroded, so maybe that's corroded again. There's some dodgy looking connections on it, but I don't think anything's actually, so far, is the cause of the problem. Let's just take the cab PCB out again just to see if the problem is up there. Well, maybe we'll try power it up again. That's actually sitting on plastic, so it's unlikely that that's shorted out. So let's just power it up again as it is now and see if moving the wiring has disturbed whatever is causing our problem. No, we're still in trouble. We could disconnect these wires. Okay, so that is the infrared receiver in the cab disconnected. Let's try it now. Okay, so yet again the failure is the Siku PCB that's located in the cab. So you can see from our current over there, we are connected here. So I'll do that again. I think these LEDs are going to flash when we power it up. Yeah, so that's the start sequence of the main IC on the main control board. On this PCB up here, I forget what it is up here exactly, but there's at least an infrared receiver and a couple of resistors. So obviously something has corroded up here again. Let's just get this apart. This is my PCB that I've added in, but it's still connected here, so we know that it's not the LED lights that's causing the problem here, unless maybe one of my wires has crossed a joint or something on the original Siku PCB. But to be honest, I'm expecting it to just be corroded again, the same as when I first bought the model, because I bought this model as a faulty model and there was a problem on the power of it up here. Actually, it looks like the power to the LEDs that I've wired up here is also coming from this PCB. So it's quite likely that one of these little wires that I have has somehow got shorted out. Now that we've moved them around, it's probably going to be hard to tell where the short was. but I'd say it's quite likely that that was the case. Easy way to figure that out is to plug this back in for a start. It's going to be so much fun trying to put this back together again. Okay, so let's see, do we still have a short? No, we have no short now, so that's not going to be easy to diagnose. But in theory, the model should now be functioning if we get our infrared controller back. Channel 1. You can see our steering is working again. So because the infrared is working, I suspect that it's my wiring that was the problem. So you can see there all the wires are basically bare. So what must have happened, maybe I dropped this and some of those wires got moved around. What I can do to try and remedy that is to maybe hot glue the wires in place, cover them over with some tape. There's a few options there, but we should be able to get it perfected. But at least we figured out what the problem was, so now we can do something about fixing it. So that is the solution, I guess. We're just going to have to try and figure out something on in the cab here, just under the roof, and get the thing reassembled again. I'd be fairly confident now, after seeing that one of my wires shorted out. Although, actually looking at this now, there's a hole there. I would say that's above one of the points on the PCB. So possibly what happened, this tape was over the top here. It's only duct tape, it's nothing special, so I should have used electrical tape, would have been a lot more robust. But possibly from me lifting this up and pushing on the cab probably over the last, I don't know, year or two, it wore a little hole in the tape there. Actually, what am I talking about, year or two? It's been about 6 or 7 years since I reassembled this model, so it's probably a bit that long. I've worn a little hole in that, and that is causing our problem. So what I'll do is make a better job of covering over these wires and separating the PCB from them, and then hopefully that'll solve the problem. So that's the diagnosis for this one. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to hit the like button if you did, and thanks very much for watching.